my pleasure to introduce to you Chase Hiber, the student speaker elected by the class of 2023. Chase, please come forward.
How are we feeling? Feeling good. Okay. Thank you, Principal Hiber. Seriously, guys, can we hear it one more time for Mr. Hiber? You know, Mr. Hiber and I actually spent grueling hours working to ensure that this speech complies with all district graduation protocols. In fact, we've spent so much time together, I feel like we're now on a first-name basis. Toddster, my buddy, my man. Folks, if I'm being honest, though, all those rules and regulations, they're really cramping my style. You know, I think I'm just gonna wing it instead. Before I get dragged off the stage, I should say that's a joke, and I'm still very much so on script. I just couldn't resist one last gag, guys. Seriously, though, folks, I can't tell you how honored I am to be standing here in front of you today. I could have never expected when I first walked into Park as a scrawny little 5'8" freshman that I would end up here talking to all of you as a slightly less scrawny 5'8.5" senior. No, but seriously, I can't thank you enough, folks, for giving me this opportunity. What a beautiful close to our high school story this is. In fact, that's exactly what I'd like to talk to you about today, stories. My Grandpa Jack, he was a storyteller like no other. I have many fond memories of him spinning together a tale while I sat there flabbergasted. It was amazing to me. He instilled in me that there were two types of days a person lives, a useless day or a day worthy of a story. And I think you'll very much agree with me, Park High School. Today is most certainly a day worthy of a story. It occurs to me that now that some of his more dramatic stories were little more than exaggerations. But regardless, in his honor, I'd like to dedicate the rest of this speech to him and his honor. And his stories, too. A good story, is made up of many parts, very similar to our time in high school. The most important part of a story, though, is the start, the groundwork. I've often heard it said that the next chapter of our lives will be an eye-opening new experience, and I find myself agreeing with that point. This next chapter is a lot like the start of a new story. Some of us in here will glide through this next chapter easily, and if that's you, more power to you. But the rest of us, we have to learn to deal with adversity in our future, whether that's finding friends in college or the job field, or maybe our academics or the work we'll be doing. The truth is, we will struggle, and that's okay. Each struggle will bring us one step closer to success. Next, let's talk conflict. Not how the conflict impacts you, drags you down. No, how that conflict forces you to pull yourself up. In our high school career, if you're anything like me, you've made mistake after mistake, suffered failure after failure, but standing here today is a good indication that just like me, you pulled yourself out of that, and I couldn't be any more proud of you. It's true, we're turning the page on our story, absolutely, but that doesn't mean we lose what we have right now. Keep the connections you have right now. Don't lose them in the coming years. Reach out to those you care about, whether it's peers or even teachers. There are people who have been by our sides for a large part of our stories. We owe it to ourselves and to them to welcome them into our next chapters. More on that, our story would not be the same without those who have taken this journey with us. Please take a moment at some point today to appreciate the lessons we've learned from the peers around us. I'll start. From my friends Trevor, Sam, and Abby, I learned hard work and a good work ethic doesn't have to stand in the way of fun. From my friends Tanner and Connor, I learned how to have a good time and be unapologetically myself. There's so many more friends that I quite simply don't have the time to mention. But please take a moment soon to tell all those close to you the positive role they've had in your life. Folks, they say the road is just as valuable as the destination. And we all know this road we've taken in high school is important to our success. So let's talk goals, dreams, the crescendo to our stories, the hopeful conclusion. In America, 3 million other students are graduating this year. What separates us from them is our goals, our dreams that we've fostered for a decade, years, months, weeks. Heck, for some of us, we're going after goals we've made within the last few days. But each goal is important. It gives us a drive to do what we want and the tenacity to do things we don't want. You must hold on to those dreams and use them to push yourself forward. I've laid out that our lives in high school is a wonderful story that we've been lucky to be a part of. But if our lives are stories, that makes us the authors. And the final message I'd like to leave you with is that as the authors of our stories, we need to take control and take ownership over our destinies. So you didn't make it into your first pick school. Get back up and keep trying. So you didn't end with the perfect GPA. Get back up and keep trying. So you didn't make it into varsity this year. Get back up and keep trying. If there's one thing that you take from this speech today, it should be that you have the will, the resources, and the networks to succeed beyond high school if you just get up and keep working. I'd like to take one more moment to encourage you to thank the family who came here for you today and the family that supported you that isn't here today. But more than that, if you'll indulge me, please take a moment in whatever way you please to thank the family and friends who are no longer with us, who are watching us achieve great things today. My grandfather, who I talked about at the beginning of this speech, is no longer with us. But it's moments like these that I feel his presence and realize just how big of a role he's had in my success. I'm sure many of you feel the same way about your dearly departed. Again, please take a moment today to thank them for their role in your success today. Finally, Park High School, you'll have to forgive me because I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't say this one more time. Man, I'm gonna miss you guys. I love you so much. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak today. I am so proud of each and every one of you.
Thank you, Chase, for your message.